Yeah, escucha esto, bro. Machine learning. Let's go, let's go. Too perfect, too tight, mi modelo side. Aprendo jugando, no solo leyendo all night. Too perfect, too tight, mi modelo side. Aprendo jugando, no solo leyendo all night. Too perfect, too tight, mi modelo side. Aprendo jugando, no solo leyendo all night. Too perfect, too tight, mi modelo side. Aprendo jugando, no solo leyendo all night. Yeah. Patanza en los datos, yo los quiero encontrar. Pero si solo copio, mi model va a fallar. Overfitting lo atrapa, no ve la realidad. Need generalization, clarity, precisión de verdad. Matrices, features, pesos en cada capa. Si sigo los errores, mi model no atrapa. Training set perfecto, pero set me golpea. Si no entiendo why, la predicción me traiciona. Yeah, check the data, clean it tight, yeah. Yeah, learn from an errors, do it right, yeah. Yeah, no cheating, tweak the flow. Machine learning, watch me grow, yo. Too perfect, too tight, mi modelo side. Aprendo jugando, not just reading all night. Patterns, data, keep it right. Machine learning, bro, we gon' get it right. Yeah, yeah. Probability, stats, small concept, big impact. If you ignore them, the model skills retract. Predicting clicks, ventas, or quién va a comprar. Si no vio la señal, my model gonna fail, carajo. Active learning, tweak it, test it otra vez. Every mistake teaches more, eso es la key, yes. Debug invisible problems, ojo en cada step. Si overfit, crash the model, learn from that rep. Spanglish flow, Dominican vibe, Puerto Rican heart, learning on the right. Patterns, numbers, all connect inside. Machine learning journey, enjoy the stride. Too perfect, too tight, mi modelo side. Aprendo jugando, not just reading all night. Patterns, data, keep it right. Machine learning, bro, we gon' get it right. Yeah, yeah. Keep it clean, keep it real. Yeah. Machine learning flow, now you know the deal. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about a big one, machine learning. Now, it definitely has a reputation for being one of the toughest subjects to really master, but maybe not for the reasons you think. In this explainer, we're going to break down what makes it so challenging and, more importantly, how you can actually navigate it successfully. Okay, so let's just dive right in. Why does machine learning feel so incredibly difficult when you're just getting started? It's a question a lot of us have asked. But the answer isn't really about super complex math or memorizing 1,000 different algorithms. It's actually about a fundamental shift in how you have to approach solving problems. And this quote right here, man, it just gets to the absolute heart of it. The real struggle in machine learning is rewiring your brain. You have to go from a world where your job is to provide all the answers to a world where your main job is to ask the right questions of your data. It's a brand new skill, and just like any new skill, it's gonna feel weird at first. So, the very first thing we have to wrap our heads around is this completely new way of thinking. Seriously, if you're coming from a traditional programming background, you kind of have to unlearn some of your most basic instincts. This is not about writing step-by-step instructions for a computer. It's something else entirely. So take a look at this comparison, because it lays out the difference perfectly. In traditional code, you're the architect, right? You write the explicit rules. You spell out the exact path from point A to point B. But in machine learning, you completely flip the script. You give the machine a bunch of examples of A and B, and you say, you figure it out. Its job is to find the rules that connect them, all on its own. And that gets to the whole point of this. What are we trying to do? Well, while we definitely want to understand our models, the number one goal is prediction. Think about a business trying to figure out next quarter's sales. They don't need a perfect philosophical explanation for every single sale in the past. What they need is a model that can look at all that history and make a really, really good guess about the future. That's the predictive power we're all chasing. All right, let's get into what is, for my money, one of the most maddening parts of learning ML, debugging. See, in normal coding, a bug usually means your program breaks or throws an error. But in machine learning, your code can run perfectly, no errors, no crashes, and still give you a completely wrong, totally useless answer. The problems are invisible. They're not in your syntax, they're in your logic. So a classic, and I mean classic example of one of these invisible problems is something called overfitting. This is what happens when your model basically aces its homework, the data you trained it on, but then completely bombs the final exam when it sees brand new data it's never encountered before. It learned the training examples so perfectly that it actually memorized all the random noise and junk details too. You can think of it just like this. An overfit model is like a student who memorized the exact answers to last year's test. They can recite them back flawlessly. But if you give them a slightly different question that tests the exact same concept, they're totally lost. Why? Because they never actually learned the principles. They just memorized the cast. Now, on the other hand, a good model does this. It learns the general trend, the underlying pattern in the data. This is the student who actually understood the subject. They might not get every single practice problem 100% right, but they can handle new problems because they've grasped the fundamental concepts. This is the kind of model that can reliably predict the future. And you know, overfitting is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many of these subtle pitfalls. Your problem might be bad or biased data, which is like teaching your model the wrong lessons from day one. Or maybe you've just picked the wrong tool for the job. The point is, these bugs are sneaky. They're often in your strategy, not in the lines of code themselves. So all of this leads to a feeling that I'm sure many of you have had. It's that feeling where you've watched the videos, you've read the articles, but the ideas just aren't clicking. Like you understand the definition of overfitting, but you don't really get it in your gut. This happens because of passive learning. I absolutely love this analogy because it's just so true. You can read 100 books on swimming, you can watch videos of Olympic swimmers all day long, but until you actually jump in the pool and feel the water, you will never ever learn. Machine learning is a practical skill. It's a craft. You got to get your hands dirty. You have to run experiments, and you have to see things for yourself. And the way you get in the water is by using this active learning loop. This is where real understanding is born. You start with a question, a hypothesis. I wonder what happens if I use more data. Then you go in and you tweak just that one thing. You observe the result. Did it get better or worse? But here's the crucial part. Don't stop there. The most important step is number 4. You have to dig in and understand why it changed. That's how you build real intuition. Okay, so knowing all of this, how should you actually start? What should you focus on in your very first week? Let's take everything we've talked about and boil it down into a clear, actionable path so you can get started on the right foot. All right, here's your game plan for week 1. First, actively embrace that mindset shift. You're a trainer, not an instructor. Second, and this is a big one, spend real time just getting to know your data. Third, experiment. Get in there, tweak things, see what breaks. Fourth, always be asking why. And finally, number 5, please be patient with yourself. This stuff is hard. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and nobody gets it overnight. I want to leave you with this final thought because it just perfectly captures one of the key challenges we've been talking about. Your goal is to build something that can gently whisper insights about what might be coming next, not something that just loudly screams what already happened. So let me ask you, what's the first question you're going to ask your data?
Yeah. Escucha esto, bro. Machine learning. Let's go. Too perfect, too tight, mi modo lo sai. Aprendo jugando, no solo leyendo all night. Too perfect, too tight, mi modo lo sai. Aprendo jugando, no solo leyendo all night. Párense en los datos, yo los quiero encontrar. Pero si solo copio, mi model va a fallar. Overfitting lo atrapa, no ve la realidad. Ni generalization, clarity, precisión de verdad. Matrices, features, pesos en cada capa. Si sigo los errores, mi model no atrapa. Training se perfecto, pero este set me golpea. Si no entiendo why, la predicción me traiciona. Yeah, check the data, clean it tight. Learn from errors, do it right, not cheating. Tweak the flow, machine learning, watch me grow. Yeah. Too perfect, too tight, mi modo lo sai. Aprendo jugando, not just reading all night. Patterns, data, keep it right. Machine learning, bro, we gon' get it right. Yeah, too perfect, too tight, mi modo lo sai. Aprendo jugando, not just reading all night. Patterns, data, keep it right. Machine learning, bro, we gon' get it right. Probability, stats, small concepts, big impact. If you ignore them, the model skills retract. Predicting clicks, ventas, o quién va a comprar si no veo la señal. My model gonna fail, carajo. active learning, tweak it, test it otra vez. Every mistake teaches more, that's all the key, yes. Debug invisible problems, ojo en cada step. See overfit crash the model, learn from the rap. Yeah, Spanish flow, Dominican vibe, Puerto Rican heart, learning on the ride. Patterns, numbers, all connect inside. Machine learning journey, enjoy the stride. Too perfect, too tight, mi model offside. Aprendo jugando, not just reading all night. Patterns, data, keep it right. Machine learning, bro, we gon' get it right. Yeah, too perfect, too tight, mi model outside. Aprendo jugando, not just reading all night. Patterns, data, keep it right. Machine learning, bro, we gon' get it right. Yeah, yeah. Keep it clean, keep it real. Machine